According to the National Rivers and Streams Assessment released by the U.S. Environmental Protection Agency, 45% of our nation's stream and river miles contain excess nitrogen and phosphorus. 25% of the country's river and stream miles are rated poor for habitat. In the southern Appalachian region, which includes the Chesapeake Bay watershed, 65% of the stream miles are high in phosphorus and 45% have excessive levels of nitrogen. Consistent with the national figures, 25% of the region's stream miles rate poor for habitat. Farmers in the Chesapeake Bay watershed have been tasked to reduce nitrogen and phosphorus levels entering the bay by 1/3. That's a huge job. Here's how one committed farmer is rising to the challenge.
Okay, I'm Buff Showalter. This is the west side of our family farm, Fox Run Farm, which has been in my family for 7 generations now. We are a diversified farm with crops, livestock production, which includes raising about 350,000 broilers per year, and then we background 350 to 400 beef cattle. Our crop production is mostly forage, which includes corn for silage, various small grain crops, some of which are harvested for grain, some of which are harvested for baleage, and then of course grazing, which is mostly rotational grazing. We also graze our cover crops in the winter as depending on moisture and forage availability. As a kid, I spent hundreds of hours fishing in this stream that you're looking at right now, hunting squirrels, rabbits, quail, whatever. So not only am I a farmer, but I'm also passionate about outdoor activities. And obviously because of that, I'm also passionate about the environment and clean water. There has been a tremendous move towards no-till and livestock stream exclusion in the last 10, 15 years. So fortunately, we're seeing a tremendous improvement in water quality, both clarity and the underwater community of small insects and that type of thing. We're starting to see those come back. Probably the biggest thing we have done, I would say, that improved water quality is excluded livestock, both from the river itself and from the ditches, the small streams, the wet weather springs that feed into the river. And also we've done buffers all along the river, as well as those small streams and springs. We have also switched to pretty much 100% no-till, which has greatly reduced runoff. It's helped us increase soil biodiversity. We've also begun to grow a lot of cover crops, mixed species, multi-species cover crops. I think that's having a very positive effect on soil organic matter as well as biodiversity of the soil. Building biodiverse soils, first of all, it reduces your need for chemical fertilizer. Also, it increases organic matter, which in turn increases the moisture holding capability of the soils, which obviously reducing runoff, reducing leaching, which has a tremendous positive effect on local water supplies, particularly underground water. This is a karst area, so we've got underground streams everywhere. On top of the hills, in the low places, we don't have an aquifer here. We have a karst area with just multiple underground springs and streams. So, anything you can do to stop leaching into that water supply obviously has a positive effect on water quality. My grandmother used to make the statement that we should all sweep in front of our own door. I think she was speaking more of social and interpersonal relationships, but I've kind of adopted that as an environmental term for me as a farmer. I am blessed to own roughly a mile and a quarter of frontage on this river. But I feel strongly that I need to do my part to make sure that that part of the river is cleaner than some other part. And if each of us would be willing to do that, both in our lives personally, in our lives as, in our business lives, in our spiritual lives, the world would be a much better place to live in.